Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in one of my last videos, I did a review of the Love and Fresh Zero Net Carb bread from Aldi. Almost immediately after publishing that video, I got requests to do reviews of other keto breads, like Sola, Franz, what else was there? Chompies or something like that. And the one that I'm going to review today, Natural Ovens bread from Costco. Now it would be nice if I could just do some sort of compilation video of all of these breads at once, but unfortunately they're not super easy to find. At least they haven't been in my experience. So we'll take them one at a time. I will be reviewing the Natural Ovens bread the same way that I did the bread from Aldi. So I'm going to eat it just plain, I'm going to toast it and have it with some butter, I'm going to make a grilled sandwich out of it, and I'm going to test my blood sugar along the way. Now, unlike the Zero Net Carb bread from Aldi, this one actually uses the word keto or keto friendly on the package. However, let's take a look at the ingredients. There is a zero net carb blend that includes modified wheat starch, wheat gluten, oat fiber, wheat protein isolate, and inulin. Then we have water, soybean oil, yeast, salt, vinegar, calcium propionate as a preservative, ascorbic acid, and enzymes. So just like the bread from Aldi, if you are clean keto or have any sort of wheat or gluten issues, this bread is a no-go. The first thing I notice about this loaf of bread is it is a lot more dense or less squishy than the Aldi bread. Smells very bready. I can tell that the crumb on this is definitely more dense than the Aldi bread. The slices themselves are smaller, and this is a white bread, whereas the Aldi bread is more of a wheat type brown bread. But before I try this out, I'm going to take a baseline of my blood glucose. And our baseline is a 98. That's a little high for me. Usually I'm in the mid to upper 80s. Here we go. I'm going to say, based on memory, now granted, it's a very distant memory what sliced white bread tastes like, but this tastes a lot like sliced white bread. I would say that the texture is a little bit more dense than Wonder Bread. It's not quite as gummy. I mean, I remember, even as a kid, chewing Wonder Bread and just feeling it kind of turn to paste in your mouth. This doesn't do that. So from a flavor and texture standpoint, I'm going to say this is a solid bread. Now I have a piece of toast, buttered, and I will say that this does appear to toast up more evenly than the Aldi bread. Similar to the Aldi bread, it does lose a little bit of its chew when it's toasted. It doesn't get quite as powdery as the Aldi bread. Again, this is really, really very much like bread. Now the grilled cheese sandwich. Tell me that doesn't look good. It's not cut in triangles though, so it might not be as tasty. Wow. I'm pretty in love with this bread. I could really go for a bowl of tomato soup right now with this. This brings back some childhood memories. All right, I just finished eating the grilled cheese, so now I've had 2 slices of this bread, the same as I did with the Aldi bread. It is 10:34 right now. So we'll be back in a half an hour. Well, it'll be instant for you, half an hour for me, to do my first blood glucose test. It's been a half hour since I've had the bread. Let's give it test number 2. We're at 127, so we jumped up by 30 points. So that kind of qualifies as a spike in my book. I never shoot up that high. And certainly I haven't had anything that has made me bounce up 30 points before. Just to confirm the time, it is 11:05, so 30 minutes. I'll be back in 30 minutes. You'll be back in a couple seconds for the 1 hour test and our 60-minute test. This is not good. 155. That is not something I wanted to see. We'll be back in another hour. Let's do our 2-hour measurement. And we are back down to 100, which is a relief. But as long as I've got a drop of blood going here, I'm going to test my ketones as well. My reading yesterday was a 0.7. And I am now at a 0.1. As you might imagine, I'm not super duper happy right now. I'm also not super sad. In a way, I kind of feel a little bit conflicted. This Natural Ovens bread, despite being labeled keto friendly, I'm gonna have to say, not so much. The ingredients, definitely not clean keto. And the blood glucose and ketone readings, bad. To put this in a little bit of perspective, the Love and Fresh bread from Aldi raised my blood sugar 15 points. And it was back pretty close to the same within 2 hours. This Natural Ovens bread caused a 57-point spike in my blood glucose. It took me not quite to the warning area, according to the Keto Mojo website, but definitely into area of concern. That reading of 155 is the highest reading I've ever had in a year of taking my blood glucose measurements. To give you an idea of how high that is for me, in the past year, the highest number I have ever recorded is 116. So I'm gonna say this bread is not for me. But as I say, anytime I do any sort of a blood glucose reading, individuals are gonna vary in their response. My response is gonna be different from yours, and I believe that we all need to own our measurements. So if you don't have a blood glucose and ketone tester, I encourage you to get one, whether it's Keto Mojo or some other brand. I will include down below a link to the Keto Mojo article on blood glucose, as well as a link to get 15% off a Keto Mojo blood glucose monitor / ketone tester and strips. If that's the way you want to go, no pressure. I really wish I hadn't enjoyed the flavor of this bread so much. That's what makes it hurt, is I really like this. But then again, maybe in a way that's good, because I liked it enough that I could have seen this being an everyday bread, and that takes me from going like a little dirty to being fairly dirty, or even a lot dirty in keto. Maybe I should take it as a good thing that I got the readings that I did, and that takes this bread off the table for me. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified whenever I release a new video, click the bell and select all for notifications. Also, if you'd like to contribute to the success of the Serious Keto Test Kitchen, click on that join button and see what memberships are all about. Thanks for watching.